Gina Miller formed her, whatever it was, the Truly, Truly Fair Party and launched it yesterday. What's it all about?
Good morning, everyone, and thank you all so much for joining us today. My name is Gina Miller, and some of you will know me from the court cases against the governments of Theresa May and Boris Johnson.
Before we get on to the elective dictatorship stuff, let's deal with the bit before. Good morning, everyone, and thank you all so much for joining us today. By everyone and thank you all, she was referring to all 13 people in the room, most of whom were members of her team or the, quote, communications fellows she'd hired, who'd apparently neglected to do any communicating. It was an empty-looking room. Once upon a time, you could have hunted buffalo on the deserted plains sweeping to the far horizon of that conference room. Good thing she'd only booked the Queen Elizabeth Centre and not Wembley Stadium. Asked why her new party would succeed when all the other exciting new parties, Change UK, UK Change, Change.Brit, Brit.Change, Britastic, Changeapalooza, all of them had all flopped. Gina Miller responded, "This is a different time. The public have an appetite for a new party now. Not a single member of this mysterious thing called, quote, the public was present, but it was close to lunchtime, so perhaps at that hour the public had an appetite for a tuna wrap from Pret-a-Manger. But that's what's being power listed on the power list by all the power listers gets you. 0 members of the unwashed masses. Mrs. Miller added that it was time for change. The one great constant in a turbulent world is that new political parties calling for change always want everything to remain the same. Change UK wanted to stop the UK changing from an EU member to an EU non-member. The public, by contrast, do have an appetite for change. They would like a change from open borders on the southern shore to firmly shuttered borders. Yet that kind of change is never on offer from all these change parties, is it? One is reluctant to revive the old gag about having all the qualities of leadership except followers, but power lister Gina Miller, purporting to be the voice of the people in a people-less room, is a near parodic example of the disconnect between the elites and the masses. COVID has widened that gulf. The latest Boris booze-up of the day front pages have Downing Street staff boogieing around number 10 on the eve of the Duke of Edinburgh's funeral. The heartlessness of the image leads most obviously to the conclusion that the elites who ruined your lives and businesses and the mental health of your kids don't actually believe a word of the panic porn they inflicted on you. These civil servants are writing all their no heavy petting between Tier 2 and Tier 3 resident rules in between bacchanalian conga lines round Downing Street. Yet that's not why these stories are on the front pages. They're on because the PM, starting in December, semi-partially and ever so tepidly broke from the Emmanuel Macron, Nicola Sturgeon, Justin Trudeau, Western leadership class lockdown with end consensus. And the object is to replace him with someone who won't wander off the reservation by so much as a toe. Same thing with Her Majesty's Australian government, which has just revoked Djokovic's visa. You put the visa in, you throw the visa out, you do the Djokey-Cokey and you throw them back into detention. Omicron is everywhere in Australia. It's dripping off the chandeliers at Yarralumla. It's dropping from the salivating jaws of every dingo at Ayers Rock. They should just rename the country Omicronalia. But instead they're doubling down on a massive 2-year public policy failure because it's all they know how to do.